Have you ever wondered what people did before money existed? The story we're all told in school is simple. They bartered. If you were a farmer with chickens and you needed shoes, you'd find a shoemaker who wanted eggs. Simple, right? Well, what if I told you that story is almost entirely a myth? A convenient lie that hides the true, much more fascinating history of money and holds a powerful lesson about your wealth today. Stick with me, because understanding this will change how you see everything, from the dollar in your pocket to the assets you own. The idea that societies were built on bartering is what economists call the myth of barter. Anthropologists who have studied countless societies have found almost zero evidence of it ever being the primary way people exchanged goods. Think about it. For barter to work, you need what's called a double coincidence of wants. Not only do I have to want your shoes, but you have to want my specific chickens, right now. What if you're a vegetarian? What if you already have chickens? What if my chickens won't lay eggs for another week? It's incredibly inefficient. So, what was the real system? For most of human history, we lived in small, tight-knit communities. The economy wasn't based on one-off transactions. It was based on relationships and social credit. If you needed something from your neighbor, they gave it to you. It wasn't a trade, it was a favor. Everyone kept a mental ledger of who owed whom. You helped your neighbor build a fence, they'd share their hunt with you later. It was a system of mutual debt and trust. IOUs were the original currency. Your reputation was your credit score. This is where the first forms of money start to appear. They weren't coins. They were symbolic items used to track these social debts over long distances or between tribes. Things like shells, beads, or even giant, immovable stones like the Rye Stones of Yap Island. These objects didn't have intrinsic value. Their value came from the social agreement that they represented a debt, a promise. This was the first ledger technology, a way to keep track of who owed what to whom. So, where did coins come from? They didn't emerge to make bartering easier. They were invented by governments, by kings and emperors, for two main reasons: to pay soldiers and to collect taxes. It's much easier to pay a mercenary army with standardized portable coins than with chickens or promises. And once you've paid your soldiers, you can then demand that everyone else in the kingdom pay their taxes in those same coins. Suddenly, everyone needs the king's money. This creates a captive market and solidifies the state's power. Money, from its very inception as coins, was a tool of control. Fast forward through history. Paper money started as a claim check. You'd deposit your gold with a goldsmith, and he'd give you a paper receipt. People started trading these receipts because they were lighter and easier than carrying around a bag of gold. Eventually, governments took over this process, issuing banknotes that were, in theory, redeemable for gold or silver. This was known as the gold standard. Your paper money was a direct promise, a link to a real, physical asset. But in 1971, that all changed. The United States officially abandoned the gold standard. From that moment on, currencies like the US dollar became fiat money. The word fiat is Latin for "let it be done." Fiat money has value simply because the government says it does, and we all agree to accept it. It is no longer backed by a physical commodity. It's backed only by trust in the government that issues it. And this brings us to the crucial lesson, the reason why understanding this history is so important for you today. The cash you hold is not a stable store of value. It's a tool of government policy. Governments can, and do, print more of it whenever they want to fund projects, pay debts, or stimulate the economy. But what happens when you increase the supply of something? Its value goes down. This is inflation. The $10 in your wallet today will buy you less next year, and even less the year after that. Your cash is constantly, silently, losing its purchasing power. Relying solely on cash is like trying to store water in a leaky bucket. You're guaranteed to lose some over time. The myth of barter taught us that money is a thing you trade for other things. The real history teaches us that money is a system of trust, a social agreement. And right now, the system of fiat currency is designed to slowly devalue. So, what's the solution? It's not to go back to trading shells or giant stones. It's to understand the difference between currency and assets. Currency, like the dollar, is what you use to transact day to day. It's a medium of exchange. Assets are things that store value over the long term and potentially grow in value. Think about real estate. There's a finite amount of land. They aren't making more of it. Think about stocks, which represent ownership in productive businesses that create value. Think about precious metals like gold, which have been a store of value for thousands of years, precisely because they can't be printed out of thin air. And in our modern age, we have new digital assets like Bitcoin, which was specifically designed with a fixed supply of 21 million coins to act as a hedge against the inflation of fiat currencies. The lesson from the real history of money is that you should never trust currency alone. You work hard for your money. Don't let it silently evaporate. You need to convert your depreciating currency into appreciating, or at least value-preserving, assets. This isn't about getting rich quick. It's about wealth preservation. It's about protecting the value of your labor, your time, and your savings from the silent tax of inflation. Start learning. Read about different asset classes. Understand the risks and rewards of stocks, real estate, precious metals, and digital assets. Diversify. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. The goal is to build a robust portfolio that can weather the storms of economic policy and time. Don't be a victim of the system. Understand how it works and make it work for you. The journey from social credit and IOUs to fiat currency and digital assets is a long one, but the fundamental lesson remains the same. True wealth isn't held in currency that can be endlessly created. It's held in assets that are scarce productive, or both. Protect your future. Thank you so much for watching. If this video opened your eyes, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that challenges the way you think about money and the world. Let me know in the comments what your favorite store of value is. See you in the next one.